Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I want to talk about QA projects. More specifically, I want to talk about 5 QA projects that I've worked on and I've found them, let's say, worth mentioning. And hopefully this helps you get a feeling of what type of projects you can end on as a QA or what type of projects you can expect. Okay, so let's begin. Number one. Projects in the automotive industry. This starts from, let's say, an application that handles all the components of a car, from the tiniest screw, the let's say the side mirror. Okay, well, the side mirror has several types of glass on it, because it can be heated glass, it cannot, it can have warning, side collision warning, and so on. So the application can contain a lot of information, and also this can help you on the project that I've worked on. You could build your own car from the parts, you can search for a certain part, you can add new parts to the app so everyone else can see them. And this application was used in all the, let's say, all the production plants all over the world, and people in showrooms and people in um, services could use this. Yeah, so this was the first one. Let's move on. Number two is a project in the medical healthcare, let's say. Basically it was speech to text, so for doctors or pediatrician or any type of let's say people that medical industry, let's say. For example, a patient goes to a doctor and complains of several issues, and the doctor doesn't want to spend that much time to write everything down after the consultation. So this comes in the project that I've worked on. There were some speech mics, for example, and you could talk to it after you finish the investigation with your patient. You would just use that speech mic, press a button, and then just say patient complains of I don't know, bad knee or headache or whatever the problem he had. And the application would show the text on screen. So the whole thing was translated from speech to text really fast. And this got improved over time, as you can expect, because as more, let's say, as more reports you were recording, the program would adapt to your voice and would recognize more and more words. And also, of course, the program was specifically for medical fields, so things like headache, injury, and so on. These were specific words that it would recognize easily. Okay, number two. Let's move on to number three. Number three was an antivirus software. I think this was my first project as a QA. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. So first project as a QA, I ended up working on an antivirus project. I had 4 or 5 PCs, and I had the server on one of them and 3 clients, if I'm not mistaken. And we would have CDs with viruses, and installed the antivirus software on all of them, as in server and client instances with different OSs, Windows or whatever we used right back then. And you would just pop in the virus CD and you was just test, okay, do I have a notification on the client? Do I have a notification on that server? Is the integration between them working? And so on. So all these types of things were tested by us. I think this was really at the beginning of my career. The project began to grow really fast, and then all of a sudden it moved in a different company, if I'm not mistaken, or different country, but that's entirely to the client. Okay, number four, I want to talk to you about e-commerce. So when I mean e-commerce, I mean websites for everything you can think of. Let's say shops for online shop for clothes, for computer parts, for, I don't know, gardening or cars or whatever you can think of, and websites. I know right now at this moment there are a lot of platforms like Shopify and so on that help you, let's say, use their own template and build your own e-commerce adventure. But before all these, people were creating their own websites with and yeah, somebody had to develop them, somebody had to test them, and so on. So let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is, of course, app testing. um, if you end up in an app project, then you can expect it's gonna be most likely a game or software to perform some kind of operation, or I don't know, anything you can think of. If you look at your mobile, I know you have a mobile or a desktop where you're watching me, but 90 something percent of the planet has a mobile phone. So every app on that phone was a software development project, and somebody had to make some plans. It went to the software development life cycle. Okay, it was tested. Of course, the whole flow of developing an app. Yeah. And last but not least, I want to mention the QA project that was really fun for me. And I think this was the project where I had the most fun. It was a project about third-party data. The app, it was not an app, it was actually some JavaScripts and two UIs where you could manage. One of the UIs was to manage those JavaScripts, and one of the other UIs was to manage the third-party data. So, for example, let's say you go to Sony and you want to buy a PlayStation. Well, Sony could have those scripts in the background with their accept, of course, and they could track which of their visitors has the age between 20 and 30 years old, and which of them buys, let's say, more than $500 or 500 euros or whatever is the national coin in your country. Yes. And for example, they could use this in marketing purposes. For example, if they target this specific segment that I mentioned, maybe they want to push some new commercial, maybe they want to push some new stuff that they brought up. Let's say the new PS5, which is launching. Okay, so they are interesting which of their visitors had previously has the age that they are interested in and bought for at least let's say, I don't know, 500 1000 euros or dollars or whatever the coin is. So if they target that specific persons, maybe they want to push some ads to them, or maybe they want to push some new promotions to those people so they can get more revenue from that. This project was really let's say really fun, and also the team was we had a really good collaboration in the team. But it was fun because we had a lot. We had the backend with the scripts and servers and so on, and databases. We had UIs. We had two UIs actually, which we had to test and validate. And you also had the interesting part with the data, which you had to set some cookies and test to see if everything worked. And yeah, everything got together as a cake, let's say. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope this was helpful. Don't forget to leave your feedback in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.